It all starts with an idea. If you have an idea that excites you and you want to make a video about, write it down. Don't forget it. Write it down either on paper, on a whiteboard, in your notes app, or maybe dedicated software like Milanote or Notion. I personally use Milanote for bigger projects because it allows me to map the whole idea out that I have in the ideation process. It could be that you're already getting stuck because yes, you have an idea that excites you, but should you even be making a video about that? Because what is the longevity of this video? Is this subject even evergreen? Am I wasting my time on making this video? Stop. You have an idea that excites you, make a video about it. Don't think about any of that because honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what niche you're going to be in. It doesn't matter if there is any like longevity, if your video is evergreen. None of that matters right now. And if needed, I will give you permission to make a video about the thing that you enjoy, the thing that excites you. The best way to start, especially when you're just starting out, is that if you have an idea, start writing down all of your thoughts. Brain dump on a piece of paper or on your notes app or Milanote or wherever you want to write down your ideas. Write down everything and then start structuring it so you can tell this story in a more coherent way. And by structuring it, I mean you could write it either in a few bullet points or you could write an entire script. If that's the way that's going to work for you, write a whole script. Now, when you have your talking points ready, for a lot of people, it is helpful to start writing down a shot list. And what a shot list is basically just a list of all the B-roll shots that you're going to be needing, whether that is product B-roll, actual B-roll, screen recording, just write all of that down. Another part of the planning process is not just writing out your idea and getting your script ready, it's also the aesthetics of your video. And again, this is something that I know you can get stuck on, and I know it sounds like I'm just calling you out on everything, but just know I'm doing that with all the love in my heart as your best friend, because I totally understand. I understand that you can get stuck on the aesthetics of your video, whether that means that your setup isn't ready yet. Maybe it is because you cannot wrap your head around what you want your setup and your videos to look like. Could also be that you don't know what kind of font you want to use in your videos. So maybe you need to figure out the whole branding first before you start making videos, right? Because it's got to be good from the start. No. It does not. In fact, I just went on a 3-week trip where I filmed this whole series and I have no idea what it's gonna look like. Producing a series is something that I've never done before, so I feel a little bit like a beginner in this field. And honestly, it's exciting because it means I can experiment and I can find my style as I'm editing the videos. It makes me really excited and I want you to be excited about it as well. Allow yourself some time to experiment, to figure out what you like. Setups are ever changing. You can change your setup all the time. I've changed my setup for this video, and in the next video, you might see a completely different setup. Don't worry too much about the aesthetics and just start filming. When you're just starting out, you might not have the fanciest gear, and that is totally fine. And I'm not gonna tell you to wait until you get the best camera, because honestly, the best camera you have is the one that you have on you, which might just be your phone right now. When I just started my channel, I did not have the fanciest gear. The only fancy thing I had was my camera, which was the A7 III, and the lens, which was a Tamron 28-75. I was using daylight, I was using window light, I was using a shotgun microphone. That was the terrible idea in that setup, and that is basically all I used. But I do want you to start in a better place than I did. So let's just quickly break down this setup that you're looking at right now, because I'm shooting this in my living room. I have a bunch of things turned on in the background that I already have in my living room. It is a very simple, easy setup. I put my camera, which is the A7 IV, on a tripod, and I paired that with the Sony 24mm f1.4. Like I said before, using the best camera that you have available to you is the way to go. So whether that is like an Osmo Pocket 3 or your phone or a big Sony camera, just use whatever you have. Setting up and framing your shot is going to take a little bit of time because it's a lot of going back and forth, especially when you're by yourself, on getting the framing right. And that is why I wanted to do this new setup, because you can see that I am doing a new setup and it's not like I am filming in the same old. And what's really great about the Sony A7 IV is that there is I think it's called the Creators app, which is something that I think most cameras have nowadays, most brands, which is just a camera mirroring app where I could monitor it on my iPad, which just makes it a little bit easier than just looking at my screen for reference. And it took a little bit of time. So I just turned on some music and I just enjoyed myself and the process, because the most important thing about making videos is that you enjoy the process. Pro tip, if you're setting up your shot and you're listening to music, listen to the music that you can actually use in your videos, because this is going to save you so much time. As I was setting up this shot and I was framing this, I was listening to music on Track Club, and then every time that I heard a song that I liked and that I think I could use in a video, I would favorite it or I would add it to a playlist. So then when you're editing, you can just go and find that playlist or find your favorite songs and import them, and you're done so much quicker. The one thing that you will need to know to make your videos look more cinematic and feel more professional is lighting. Now, my go-to recommendation is to get a studio light with a softbox to light yourself, use that as your key light, and you're good to go. All of these other lights that you're seeing, these are all lights that I already have in my living room. So definitely go ahead and use whatever you already have. Don't use overhead lights like the ceiling lights, but instead use a key light. My go-to recommendation is the Emron 100D with the Aperture Light Dome SE. Now, understanding lighting is really important and a video on itself, which is why I've made multiple lighting videos. So for this video, we're not going to dive into exactly how to light yourself. For that, I would recommend to check out any of those videos that I will link in the description. Last but not least, we need a proper microphone. And now what microphone you need depends on what kind of video you're filming and what environment you're in. The environment you're in is actually more important than the microphone that you're filming with, because if you're filming in a very reverby room, then you're gonna have to treat your room. I'm saying that as someone who's never done that. So what I use is either when I do my talking head videos in the reverby room is I use a studio mic, which is the Shure MV7 Plus. I hate these names. And I have it like right about here so that it can pick up my voice and it doesn't pick up too much of the reverb. Now you can also use a shotgun microphone if you're vlogging or if your room is treated very well. And the vlogging microphone that I always use when I'm out and about is this one right here. This is the Sony microphone. Again, I've made a video about all the gear that I would recommend you start using when you're ready to invest in your filmmaking or YouTube career. So I will link that in the description. But if you want to use a lavalier microphone, then I would recommend getting something like this. This is a DJI Mic 2. It is incredible. You can buy just one of them, or you can buy the entire kit with a charging case. Hitting record seems to be the biggest struggle for a lot of people that want to start making videos, which is totally understandable. I mean, if we're looking at this rationally, I'm talking to a lens. I'm talking to metal and glass. And that makes no sense. So talking to a camera is really weird, and that is because it is, but here's the thing. Everyone does it. All of your favorite creators that you're watching on YouTube, they're all talking to a camera. So you talking to a camera, it is weird, but it's actually not weird at all because everyone's doing it. The best tip that I can give you is to imagine you're talking to a friend. Imagine you're talking to a friend that shares the same interest as you, or if you're vlogging, that wants to keep up with your life. So that's why you're documenting it. You're not filming a video for YouTube for a bunch of strangers in front of this metal thing. No, you're filming a video because you're talking to your friend. This will also help you and your viewer connect together because it feels like you're talking to a person and you're not talking to a camera. Honestly, with everything in life, it's gonna take a lot of practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the more natural it's gonna feel. Maybe it'll never feel natural to you, but you just get really good at it. Like I said, for me, it has always felt normal and natural to talk to a camera, but I have also gotten a lot better over the years. I feel like this is the moment where I cut to a clip from 2019. Let's start at the beginning. When someone mentions frame rate, they are referring to frames per second. We're never doing that again. You can watch my first videos if you want to, but there's definitely been a lot of growth, and I'm pretty sure in a few years from now, there will have been even more growth. All there's left to do now is hit record and start talking. And I know you're gonna be so uncomfortable and it's gonna be so annoying, but I need you to power through. Don't give up. Just keep your phone with you with all of your notes so you can look at the notes to keep yourself on track and not ramble for hours, and just keep talking. It is okay to fuck up. It is okay to fuck up. I just fucked up. I'm just gonna keep that in so that you can see. This is what I mean. This happens so much. You can make mistakes. You can do all of that because that's the beauty of editing. You can edit it all out. Speaking of which, editing is where it's all gonna come together. Even if you feel so discouraged after filming your first video because it didn't make any sense, you rambled for an hour, what is this video even going to be? I need you to hold off on deleting any files and just wait until you're editing. Now, editing your first video is going to be tough because it's gonna be tough to watch yourself. It's gonna be tough to hear your own voice because it sounds different than what you hear when you speak, but you need to power through all of that. Just start editing your A-roll, start putting it all together, start adding your B-roll clips, and you're gonna feel that it's all gonna come together, and it's actually not as bad as you thought it was. In general, the editing workflow will look as follows. You first edit your A-roll, then you add your B-roll clips, then you add your music, maybe some sound effects, some animations, some titles, and then you color grade your video and you export it for YouTube. You don't need to color grade your video. You don't need to add sound effects or titles or animations if you don't want to. I think that the most important parts of editing your video is the A-roll, the B-roll, and the music you're gonna use. If you want a full in-depth video in my workflow, like everything that I do to make my videos, please let me know in the comments so that I know people actually want to see something like that and I can make a video like that. But you will be warned, it is going to be long, it is going to be tedious, and it is going to be boring because I'm going to be showing you everything. But if that sounds interesting for whatever reason, let me know in the comments. Finding the right music for talking head videos can be quite tricky because it's very easy for a song to be overpowering. Even when you lower the volume, it can still be distracting. This is exactly why I like TrackClub, which is a large music library where you can find a ton of different genres as well as different moods, but also Mixlab. And Mixlab is their technology that allows you to customize every single stem on the website, create your own mix, and then download that and put that in your video. And this will help you get less distracting songs and songs that just really fit and enhance your talking head video instead of distracting from your talking head video. Another feature that I like that is worth checking out is called similarity search. This is a feature that they introduced a few months ago. And what I like about it is that if you hear a song on YouTube that you really like, but you can't use because of copyright, you can put that on TrackClub and they will find songs within their library that will sound similar or have a similar vibe to that song that you can then use in your video. There will be a special link in the description giving you the first 2 months for free if you want to check out TrackClub, so you have plenty of time to see if this is a library that fits your creative needs. When you're done editing your video, I really recommend to wait at least 1 day before publishing your video. I know it's super exciting to go ahead and upload the video because you've worked on it so hard and you want to just put it out there in the world, but you might regret it because maybe there is a mistake that you didn't see because you've been editing for 8 to 10 hours and you've been looking at the same thing. Maybe it doesn't flow as well as it could be. So if you give yourself that 1 day, it's gonna make a lot of difference. When you're happy with your video and it's time to post your video, I know what you're thinking. What day should I post my video? What time should I post my video in order to get the most amount of views and maybe even go viral? It doesn't matter. You're just starting out. So honestly, nothing matters right now. The only thing that matters is that you had fun making this video and this is something that you want to do. Just post a video when you're done and you're happy with it and then start working on the next one. And this is why it is so important that you enjoy the process and that you're passionate about making videos and about what you're talking about, because you're not going to see instant growth. Maybe you're not going to see growth at all, but as long as you like what you're doing, it shouldn't matter whether or not you're going to grow and you're going to become a full-time YouTuber or the next, I don't know, Mr. Beast. In this entire video, I did not mention the words algorithm or retention once. That is because it doesn't matter. Sure, these are important things to know if you want to have a career on YouTube, but trust me, you will. The more videos you upload, the more you're naturally going to be learning about your channel and about the viewer, which is the algorithm. But for now, I urge you to make videos because you're passionate about it, and you make videos about something that you're passionate about because the rest will follow. The only growth right now that is relevant and that matters is the growth of you as a filmmaker and as a YouTuber. You will find your voice as a filmmaker or as a YouTuber, but the only way to find it is by making videos and by practicing. You will find your people if we're talking about viewers, if you talk about something that you're passionate about, because people connect to other passionate people. If you love what you do, if you genuinely love making videos, it is going to be worth all of the time and all of the effort, and you wouldn't have to doubt it because you get so much satisfaction from making the videos that it's going to be worth it for you. I genuinely hope that you will like making videos as much as I do, and I'm very grateful to be able to call this my career and to call this my business, and I get to do this for a living, and I really wish for you the same. As I mentioned before in the video, nailing your lighting setup is really important, as well as nailing your audio, so make sure that you watch these videos right here if you want to learn more about that. And other than that, just have the best time making videos.